Hey, what's up, guys? Luke here. Just wanted to cut in before we start the video version of this podcast and say we had some video recording issues, so the video actually cuts off at about 43 minutes. So you've got the video version here for most of the episode, but for the last 17-ish minutes or so, it's probably just going to be a black screen. Just wanted to give that a heads up, and thanks for listening. Enjoy the episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Traffic Barrel Podcast. I'm your host, Luke McAvoy.
And I am Tate Morris.
Also, he's the host. There's
Yeah.
two of us. Really pioneering the podcast world with two hosts.
Never would have guessed. would
Never
you?
heard of that before. This week in the Traffic Barrel Podcast, the Fender Bass VI.
Oh, no.
We when we were setting up these podcasts, we like try to think of at least one thing that we can go back to talk about, like one steady thing, because we know we'll go all over the place, like we were talking about last week. I didn't tell him. He literally said right before I hit the record button, "Oh, what are we talking about?" And I said, "You'll find out," because we've been arguing about the Fender Bass VI for like 2 days now.
Because he's wrong.
Sure, yeah. I guess we're here. We're gonna jump right into it. So the Fender Bass VI is, if you're familiar with a bass guitar is typically longer scale length than a guitar, has
34.
really thick strings that are playing much lower notes. It's typically 4 strings, sometimes a 5 or a 6. But a Fender Bass VI is a little bit different. And by a little bit different, I mean a lot different, in that it's 6 strings and
30-inch scale.
30-inch scale. And the tuning is the same notes as a guitar, but an octave down. Whereas a bass guitar is, 2 octaves down?
I think so, yeah.
And so it doesn't go as low as a bass, but it's not as high as a guitar either. So it's this weird, awkward middle zone.
That's not a baritone, because that also exists.
Well, yeah, because baritone's in different tuning, too.
Yeah.
But it's also not a baritone.
It's, I think, A tuning, A standard baritone.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like essentially half an octave down.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know baritone super well. I haven't looked into it a whole lot. But in my mind, it's not low enough to be a real bass. It's not high enough to be a real guitar. So it's only useful in for very specific sounds that you're not going to get very often. What do you think?
I think you're wrong.
Oh, do you think that?
Here's the question. What note do you think you have to hit to be considered a bass?
I want the low E.
No. Like, exactly. Like E4, D2. What's the note that you have to be able to reach to be considered a bass? Vocally or for an instrument?
To be considered a bass, you have to be able... for a vocal, I don't know. I don't even know what a standard bass range is anymore for vocals. But for a bass guitar, I don't know what is the low E on a bass guitar, because whatever it is, it's that.
Oh, okay, so you just want to be able to hit that note. You're not using anything other than, I like this sound, and so everything else has to be this. I see.
It needs the ability
it's the
to do
European
that.
Union.
Something
of guitar.
that's, oh my gosh. So the ability to go that low is what defines a bass guitar for me, especially because
not being able to play in the bass range.
What?
Not just being able to play in the bass range.
No, not just being in the bass
range,
range, but being able to hit those really low notes. That's the bass sound that I want to have. I want the ability to hit real low bass notes. So like a bass 6, like I wouldn't use a bass 6 for my standard bass guitar, because I'm not going to be able to hit an E 2 octaves below a guitar. And I want to be able to do that.
You can't hit an E 1 octave below a guitar either, but you can with the bass 6.
You can hit an E 1 octave below a guitar. You can just slide up.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, on a bass you can.
Yeah.
But on a normal guitar, you can't. Well, your argument was you want to be able to hit that 2 octaves down, and you can't do that on a guitar, and that's why it's a bass. But you also can't hit 1 octave down.
On a guitar?
Yeah.
No. I'm talking specifically about basses. Like, in order for like me to want to play a bass, I want to be able to hit the 2 octaves below a guitar.
We should have done more research before this, because I think if, in general, if you're listening to music...
Hey, stay in front of the microphone.
in general, if you're listening to music, you're not going to hear just the lowest notes on the bass. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. That's going to be the standard range where most people play the bass guitar. And you have more than just one string because nobody wants to only play that note. Those 4 notes of the lowest registry of the heaviest string. That's what he wants. That's what he's talking about. But how many strings should there be on a bass, my friend?
I mean, so standard 4, but I really like the idea of a fifth lower string for I guess just for the ability to hit a lower note, but also makes it easier for certain keys. But I like the low notes because they've, like, a lot of the times it's good for filling out space of sound. Whereas, like, I do really like to hear bass, which is something that the Fender the Bass 6 is good at, is like hearing the bass lines and the bass movement is good too. But like the Beatles used a Bass 6 for so much of their music.
A lot of people did when it came out.
Right.
It's
but
the viola of instruments, except it sounds better than viola.
And what do you know? No one likes the viola.
I like the viola.
No, you don't.
I do. I really do. James and I talked about this. Who shouldn't touch the thermostat?
Even viola players make fun of violas. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's because they suck.
Yeah, violas do suck. You're right. They do.
No, the players.
If you play viola, you don't suck.
Yeah, you do.
But your instrument's dumb and you don't really need to play it. Just
Here's the thing.
Pick up a guitar.
Like, the Bass 6 is like, it's the perfect in-between from, like, playing lead guitar and playing bass. Because it goes, you can just play chords on the Bass 6.
Right.
And so it's like it's almost like the piano of guitars. You have that middle range that a standard bass can only do if you're playing really high up on the frets. And everybody likes it when the bass goes up that high. They're like, oh, I like that sound. Because you don't get to hear it very often. Because most people don't have an instrument that's capable of making that sound. But the Bass 6 does. It can play bass, but it can also just be low guitar. It is a well-rounded and more versatile instrument than just a bass. Because just a bass, you cannot play chords on it.
But you don't need to.
You don't need to do anything. There are no rules in music once you get past Theory 2.
Well, yeah.
Right, Dr. Wooldridge?
That's what theory... Shout out Dr. Wooldridge, our
Wooly
music
D.
theory professor. He always said, music theory 1 and music theory 2, you learn all the rules. Music theory 3, you learn how to break them all. That's I never took music theory 3 though. Didn't have to.
Actually, my first day of Theory 3, he literally just looked at the class and said, hey, remember everything you learned before? Forget all of it because it doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter anymore. That man has a doctorate in music theory. So
Sure does.
Wild. But anyway, I think the Bass 6, it is good for like hearing moving bass lines and things like that, and it you do get some really cool sounds on it when you do chord stuff. But I think, to your point about a good pipeline from playing lead to playing bass, at least because of the way I've played and the way I've learned to play, that's not an easier pipeline for me than just picking up a regular bass. It's the same tuning as the low strings on my guitar. It's not really changing a whole lot about how I am actually
playing.
Playing.
The Bass 6 is literally everything exactly the same as your guitar. If you learn guitar, you already know how to play the Bass 6. So it's arguably easier to go from learning guitar to learning to play the Bass 6 as opposed to just a 4-string bass, and where a lot of guitarists, they learn to do scales and they learn to do it all the way up from the 6th string through the 1st string. And you can't do that the same way on a bass because you run out of strings. So if you're used to playing it one way and you want to be able to run scales a certain way, you can't do that on a standard bass because at a certain point, all you can do is just slide.
Yeah, but that's cool.
But you can still slide on the Bass 6. You just have other options. It simply has more options. It's like if you had a guitar with one pickup that sounded great, Sure, but if you could have one with 3 pickups where you had more options, what would you pick, Mr. Stratocaster?
What does the Stratocaster have to do with this?
It has to do with it has more options than, say, a 1 pickup guitar, like a 1-trick pony,
Right.
like
right.
a standard
Okay.
bass.
Yeah, because I think one pickup electric guitars are really stupid. Like,
Right.
oh my gosh, hold on, we're gonna side tangent for a second. The Tom DeLonge signature Fender guitars, the Starcaster and the Strat that they have, it's a bright pink Strat and a bright pink or like olive army green Starcaster.
There's a number of like neon colors.
They're
the
they infuriate me so much.
The Starcaster's 4 different colors.
They infuriate me so much
Me too.
because they just took. It's just like, let's take whatever guitar he likes to play and put one humbucker in the bridge,
'Cause that's what
and
he
you
plays.
get no other options, and it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
How? Oh my gosh! It is the. I mean, I guess if you're only playing one guitar sound in one genre all the time, like he
Right.
is for Blink-182, I
Right.
guess it's fine.
If you
but
only want to have one sound all of the time for everything, you could just get a standard bass.
no,
Or you could get a bass 6 and do everything.
or you can get a bass and just
Because you
build a
could
pedal
just
board.
play guitar on it.
Or you can just get
Like
a bass
you could
and build a pedal
literally
board
go
like you
from
would with an
playing the
electric.
guitar in one song to playing the bass in the next song and not have to switch instruments.
No,
Literally
no,
can.
it doesn't take the place of a guitar. I don't think.
Here's the thing. You can just
You
chord
can, but it's still gonna be different.
at 15 frets. You can just chord and it will be exactly the same thing as playing standard on a guitar.
Right. So just play a guitar.
You can play both now with one instrument. It's like having a double neck guitar without the weight of a double neck guitar. You just have one instrument
You
that
can
can go all
do
the
it,
way
but you
down
can do it worse.
and all the way up.
So it does two things mediocre instead of having individual things that do
No, it
each
does
thing
two
really
things
well.
Great.
No, it doesn't play guitar as well as a guitar would, and it
Have
doesn't
you
play
ever played
bass as
one?
well as a bass would.
Have you ever played
I'm not
one?
saying it doesn't feel nice
Okay,
to play.
well, here's the thing. You say you can't play it, but you haven't played one, have you, sir? Have you, sir?
You don't have
Have
the
you,
range
sir?
of a guitar.
Hold on. This is important, guys. Have you ever played the Bass 6, sir?
No, I haven't.
I have. You know what it feels like?
What? What does it feel like?
It feels like a bass and a guitar. It just feels like both of them. It doesn't feel like a compromise between them. Like you can just sit there and play bass, and if you didn't know it was tuned to be the same as a guitar, most people wouldn't notice. Because it's a bass. It's down in that range. It doesn't go as low as a standard bass, but it goes higher than a normal bass.
Right.
And it goes lower than a baritone.
But I think if it's a bass, the goal isn't to go higher than a normal bass. Like a bass is a bass because it plays low notes.
Well, but it only goes down to a certain point because most people aren't going to play lower than that. Like the standard is 4 strings only down 2 octaves from a guitar because most people don't play lower than that.
I don't know where you're getting the idea that most people don't play lower than that, because in every experience I've had of the bass, they sure do.
How did they play lower than that if it doesn't go that low?
Lower than a bass guitar?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they play lower than a bass guitar.
That's
Sorry,
what I was saying.
maybe I
said
misunderstood you.
Yeah, I was like, most people don't play lower than the lowest note on a 4-string bass.
Yes.
Most
correct.
people don't need anything lower than that.
Right.
Because
yeah,
on average, the music isn't going all the way down there.
yeah. That's why I wouldn't buy a 5-string bass. I understand why some people do, but I wouldn't.
So you don't need anything lower than that. So that's like the absolute max of what you need.
Right.
And if you're not going to be playing that low, I guess it's for people that don't feel the need to just play as low as possible just because they have a bass. Like for me, if I was playing bass, I would not be, man, how low can I go? I would be, all right, the guitar's up here. Piano is all the way down here. I'm going to play in the middle. Or guitar's here, piano's here, I'm going to play below that. Not just how low can I go.
See, I see bass guitar as the foundation of it. So
I don't.
bass is a versatile instrument. I really like listening to Queen music because Queen, the way they have their bass mixed, you hear John Deacon, you hear all the bass lines that he's doing. It's great. As far as I know, he played a 4-string for the majority of his career with Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And I love hearing that kind of thing. And so for me, there are a lot of other times where I would rather have the bass be the foundation and the space filler that like fills in the low end of the music. And so I'd rather have one bass that can like fill both of those areas where you can go up the fretboard, hear those higher areas, but also be that low end foundational element of the music.
That's what a bass 6 is. It does low and high. That's the point.
not as low as a bass. I'd rather have the regular 4-string bass that can get into like the higher frets that's gonna kind of sound into that bass 6 range of things, and be able to have the low end of a standard bass,
Okay.
so that you can do both things. Because I think for certain songs, like writing a song with the bass 6 would be really cool.
Mhm.
Like you get some really cool sounds, especially once you get some effects going on. It sounds really awesome. But I think the 4-string bass does more of what I want a bass to do. Like the Fender Bass 6 is a cool instrument, but it fits into its own category for me, not as a
The
bass.
superior category. No, I understand what you're saying. And if you're playing bass for the express purpose of getting like the lowest notes that you can, then it makes sense to get something else. But for me, whatever instrument I get, I want it to be a versatile instrument. That's why
Right.
I prefer to play the Jazzmaster
Right.
versus like a Strat, because I know a Strat has 3 different pickups, and we've had this conversation many times.
Right.
The Jazzmaster,
It's a Strat sound. The
Yeah.
Jazzmaster can do a lot of different
the
things.
Jazzmaster has a rhythm circuit, which depending upon what model you have, does a lot of different things. On mine, it turns the pickups into a humbucker, and it's like the biggest humbucker I've ever heard. It's like absurd if you run it through fuzz.
Yeah, it chunks.
It's
cool.
It's almost hilarious because I almost can't use it with gain.
Yeah.
But then you just like turn the tone down on that, and it just sounds like great for a lot of things.
Right.
And it's a sound you can't get with a Strat unless it's like a highly modified one, and it's a sound you can't get with a Telly. But you can do sort of Telly sounds, and you can sort of get some Strat sounds. And so I want versatile. I don't want it to be, this is the very best thing at this exact one function. I want this can do this, and it can do that, and I don't have to switch my guitars.
That's
and
fair. Yeah.
the thing I like about the Bass 6 is that if you like lower tunings on your guitar, you can just pick up the Bass 6 instead of going, man, I have to retune everything on my guitar to be able to just do like drop D
Right.
or D standard tuning. You can now just play lower.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you can just start up at the 12th fret. And because it's 30-inch scale instead of 35 or 34, it's in just the right space so that the fretboard is like almost just standard guitar width down there at the
Right.
neck instead of just being massively wide. And so it's actually really comfortable to just do chords up there. It does kind of just feel like playing a miniature guitar
Right.
because it's similar to a short scale, because it's what it is, a short scale bass. And it kind of feels like a short scale guitar, which I like. Have you ever played a short scale guitar? Like shorter than Gibson.
Know. I don't know that I have. I mean,
You ever play a Jaguar?
have I played a Jaguar? I think I've played a Jaguar.
Jaguars are 24-inch scale.
Okay. I was gonna say my acoustic
Mustangs are
is a
24
shorter
inch.
is a little bit of a shorter scale.
Okay.
My acoustic is I think it's a 15/16 scale dreadnought, so it's like a little bit smaller than a regular dreadnought.
So it's like a,
I'm not sure what the scale length is on my guitar exactly.
I
Honestly,
don't know. Taylor, what is it?
Google can tell
Taylor
me.
Guitars.
Keep
not,
talking. I can.
Not someone named Taylor. But yeah, so I want, if I'm playing an instrument, I want to be able to just have the one instrument and not have to switch out time and time again. Now, if you want like a, what's the word? Like a hollow body sound, because I love like archtop guitars, and Luke is not their biggest fan. You like some of them, but
Yeah, I mean it depends on the guitar. I don't like
Yeah.
archtop acoustics very much. I
I
think it looks
love
weird without a
archtop
pickup.
acoustics. I don't think there's anything better than an archtop acoustic. Like, we could have stopped making instruments at archtop acoustics. Like, you could throw the piano away.
No.
If I could have an archtop acoustic, the rest of the world could lose their pianos, and I might be fine.
I guess my
I don't even know if I'd feel bad.
my acoustic's not super short scale. I mean it's slightly shorter. It's a 24 7/8, so it's like
So it's
bigger than most electrics.
bigger than most electrics.
Yeah. Okay. So no. never
Well,
mind.
no, it's not bigger than most electrics.
Wait, what
'cause
is? Aren't
a
they
Strat
like
is 25 and a half.
Why was I thinking it was 22?
Strat's 25 and a half.
Okay.
Gibson is, I think, 25, or it's like
I think it's
24,
24
and 3. It's bigger than
Yeah.
Jaguar. It's more than 24. It's in between 24 and 25.
Yeah. So I guess
and
mine's
a half.
probably sitting in the Gibson range
Yeah.
of scale lengths.
You've got the Gibson of Taylor guitars.
Great.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but that's
It's
what
really
you have.
comfortable. Like it's you don't. It's
is
a lot more
comfy.
comfortable than a regular.
It does have a certain
full-size
drawback,
Dreadnought.
though.
Oh my gosh. What's the drawback, Tate? What is it?
So there's the major design flaw with a lot of guitars, right? Like imagine if you had a piano,
Design flaw.
and as you're trying to play in like the mid higher range, there's just this piece of wood that covers most of the keys and just makes it harder for you to hit them. That would be, people would call that design flaw if it was on a piano. But on a guitar, he says it's a good thing. There's this thing called a cutaway that makes it so that you can actually reach the upper notes on a guitar.
That
And
you
he
don't need
says they're unnecessary.
for an
Because in
acoustic
his
they are.
mind, you just got to stay between like the first and maybe, if you're getting real crazy, you might touch the 7th fret for your chords. But
Look
like
into
if
the
you go
12th.
higher than that, you're just insane. You should probably die.
I think the only people who need cutaways are classical guitarists, and most of their guitars don't even have cutaways on
What
them.
about electric guitars?
Electric guitars are not what I'm talking about. Electric guitars, when you're playing lead, you need the high frets, but normal people don't need those on an acoustic guitar,
Yeah, you do.
because acoustic guitars, you're either playing rhythm or you're doing like some fingerstyle stuff that you still don't need that high end for. And
People
I mean,
play lead on acoustic guitars. They do it all of the time. Like, I don't know who you're listening to, but like literally probably a good half or more of the bands that I listen to, they have acoustic guitar solos.
just listen to better bands.
Like,
I'm just kidding. I like a good acoustic solo, and if that's the kind of music you play,
what do you mean? If you like a good acoustic solo,
if you are playing that kind of music, great. Get something with a cutaway. But I think that's not the majority of acoustic players. And it's definitely not me. I'm a rhythm player. Regardless of what guitar you put in my hand, whether it's electric, whether it's acoustic, whether I have effects, whether it's dry, I'm a
silly
rhythm
boy.
player almost all the time.
And wouldn't it be great if you were a rhythm player that could just be like, I'm going to play an octave lower now
And we're back to the basics.
with the same chord shapes?
Yeah, it'd be fun. I would use it for things, but
Yeah, it'd
I'm
be
not.
great.
I wouldn't use it instead of a bass. In like overall.
You know what I want? I think
What
this
do you
could solve all of our problems.
Okay.
I need an acoustic bass 6.
I hate acoustic basses so much.
No, it's an acoustic bass 6, right? So
Okay.
you've just got your acoustic guitar, right? And now you can play lower for your rhythm.
okay. Yeah.
And you can just be like, all right, this is, you just lay down like the thickest acoustic guitar rhythm you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
And you can just, you rule the stage. And then you'd be like, oh, I'm going to do this acoustic solo, but not too high. Because they don't do that. But now
Yeah.
you can't go that high, so you can do whatever you want.
I mean, that is
It would
honestly
literally liberate the music world.
an acoustic bass 6.
You would
I
be
kind of do
free
like that idea.
people.
No, I think that I do actually kind of like that idea. I think it'd be cool.
Get on it,
But
Fender.
Fender,
And send us one.
call us. You can patent the idea as long as you give us both one.
Yeah, if you're watching
We won't
this,
we don't even need to take a cut of all the money from
No,
inventing
we will
this
just
idea.
accept one.
Yeah, just give us each acoustic bass 6, and we'll be content. You guys can have the idea. We don't even have
Yeah.
to. I mean, it'd be nice if you want to call out our names or something on the website, or name it after
Yeah.
us, maybe. The Tate and Luke acoustic bass 6,
The toque
bass 6.
the toque bass.
Yep. No, the late bass 6.
The late. You're late.
We're in our garage.
Yeah, I guess
You
that's
can't
true.
get me
We're
out here.
outside, though. That's-
Gosh, this was gonna come up at some point. So
No, we're not talking about it today. We're gonna talk. We're gonna make an episode about it one time.
okay, we'll
That's
use
what
it as a
I've
topic
decided.
sometime. Okay, that's fine. We won't talk about it today. But no, Fender, call us. You know how to get a hold of me. You don't, but call my Sweetwater representative. He can get you in
My
touch.
phone number is 688-2300-EMPIRE.
That was not the right number.
Well, I didn't
800
decide that. I didn't
588
decide that's the bit I was doing until after I started.
2-300 Empire.
1-800-988-2300 Empire.
That's also not it. That's also not the number you said the first time either.
No, but isn't that the song?
No,
That's
it's
1-800-588.
800-588-2300 Empire today.
That's what I said.
Sure it is. Throwback to early 2000s TV commercials.
I still hear them every once in a while.
Empire?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I've heard it on the radio.
I've had this idea for like 7 years now to just like overlay it with like a picture of Darth Vader or something. Empire today. Put stormtrooper helmets on all the guys in there. I've just never got. I actually like started the project at one point when I was still in high school and then never looked at it again.
What's the guy that voices Darth Vader?
James Earl Jones.
Get James Earl Jones to do an Empire commercial.
That's the great thing. I can just AI James Earl Jones's voice and no one will know the difference.
Which
Man,
is terrifying.
It is. No, it is. It's wild. Man, we're getting in a nuts territory with AI as fast as it's been developed.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. I saw a video the other day of they had two phones open, both running ChatGPT with different voices, like ChatGPT 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, one ChatGPT had a camera with it. And this guy, he told the other one to ask this ChatGPT what it could see. And then they just had a whole conversation. He just like initiated a conversation between the two AIs and they just talked to each other, describing the stuff in the room. It was wild.
I don't like that.
It was like
if you take that and you put it in the Boston Dynamics robots,
oh, man.
that's terrifying.
Yeah, a little bit.
But at the same time, I want a Boston Dynamics robot dog.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you see the skin that they made for it?
The one that looks like a cartoon dog or whatever. Yeah.
I
Did you
don't
see the
want
video
that
of
one. That one's terrifying.
See the two of them dancing next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I love that they have a dancing dog like robot protocol just so people can use it in movies.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
That's what I want. I want a guard dog robot.
There's a company I think in Ohio that makes Boston Dynamics that like I think they might even be modded Boston Dynamics robots that just have flamethrowers on them, like just attached to them, so they can just have these robot dogs running around shooting things with flames. And
Fahrenheit 451.
what better way to
It's
start
coming, guys.
bonfires in the backyard than with a flame-throwing robot dog?
Well, I'm sure there are safer ways.
It's only like $10,000. I mean,
have you ever seen like a remote control car just kind of like mess up and start driving in circles?
yeah, but that's radio frequency. Uses different connections. Radio frequency is really easy to interfere with compared to other connections.
Have you ever seen,
What if
I
it's
don't
USB-C?
know, whatever technology that we were using to try the podcast before and it just go haywire?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Cakewalk.
what if it's just something crazy happens and your robot dog glitches and accidentally spins in a circle and just sets everyone on fire?
Yeah, that'd suck.
That would suck. You know what that can't happen with? Zippo lighters.
What? Oh,
Brought
can't.
to you
I
by
thought you said it can happen with it. Like,
Can't.
what?
It can't happen with a Zippo. Have you ever seen a Zippo lighter try to kill someone? It doesn't happen.
I mean, that.
I've
Yeah.
never seen a robot dog try
I'm
to
sure
kill
that
someone either,
one
but it
person in
could.
history has died due to a Zippo lighter.
Well, that one person was an idiot, and he deserved to die.
Oh.
Unless it was recent. Then I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh my gosh. If you or your family members have
Ever been
been
harmed by a Zippo
injured
lighter.
or killed by a Zippo lighter,
Call 1-800-588-EMPIRE today, and nothing will happen.
they will not help you. Not with that. They might ask you if you have some wall painting to do. Is that what Empire does? Or is it flooring?
I literally don't know.
Hold on.
That's bad
Hold on.
advertising if you think about it. I remember the company, but not what they do. So if I'm ever
something
like,
else.
man, I need to paint my house, and that is what they do, I'm not going to remember that.
Hold on.
I'm going to paint it by myself. And by that I mean I'll probably call my mom.
Is your mom going to paint it for you?
Well, no, she told me I'm not allowed to paint a house. Like, from the time I was a wee lad, everybody else was allowed to help paint the house, and they said that I did it wrong. So I was relegated to yard work.
Okay, I was right.
It's a true story.
Carpet and flooring.
Carpet
and flooring. Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I remember like seeing the little animated guys like putting stuff down in a house on the commercials while the audio was playing. I knew it had to be something along the lines of walls and floors or ceilings or something. So, yeah, carpet and
I mean,
flooring.
if you think about it, that's along the lines of pretty much everything. that's somewhere between walls and floors and ceilings. It's just
You know what's between walls and floors and ceilings?
everything.
Us.
Everything. It's we
Right
are.
now. There's.
Unless you count this.
I mean.
There's an
Yeah,
empty
so
space.
if you're watching the video version of the podcast on YouTube, you'll notice our set looks, I hope, better. I think so. We do record this in our garage, and it's hot out, so we just like swung the door open. So if you're hearing lawnmower noise in the background, my bad. The neighbors are mowing, I think, somewhere down the street. They were a little bit ago, at least. I don't know if they are now, but yeah. So there's technically not a wall right there, but there's like a wall on the other three places, and a ceiling, and a concrete floor. So we
Just
are
tell 'em
between
about the rafters too.
walls and floors. And yeah, there's rafters up there. I mean, it's not like distinct ceiling. It's just like the wood under the roof shingles.
I mean, there's a ceiling above that though.
Well, yeah, it's like in our house, there is ceiling, but then there's still space between ceiling and roof. There's not that out
True.
here. The ceiling and the roof are like one fixture in here.
Yeah.
But that's our garage.
This is our garage.
We're in it right now. You're in our garage with us, really.
And you're on HGTV. The Family Network.
The family. Wait, what? The Family Network? What does
Listen,
HGTV stands
I haven't
for?
had enough coffee.
I missed something.
I missed coffee.
Happy Guys Television.
Saturdays are for the girls.
That's the flag that's back there.
We have a flag. It's right behind the camera that I think they pulled out of the trash.
No.
Where'd you find
Goodwill.
it? At Goodwill? You bought that? You paid money for
No.
this?
No, we found it with a bunch of stuff that was going to Goodwill. And then we took it from there. Because it's going to Goodwill anyway. Screw Goodwill. They have a terrible business model. I mean, it's brilliant for them, but it sucks for everybody else.
Okay.
Here, we'll take your stuff for free and then make a bunch of money off of it.
That's a great business model.
For them.
Well, would you be?
Sucks for everybody else. Technically, Goodwill is
I mean, we still buy it like dirt cheap.
Yeah,
though.
I know. I go to Goodwill at least twice a week, but it doesn't mean I like it.
What?
I can like a company's products and not
It
the company
absolutely
themselves.
does mean that.
I do it all the time. I like
It's
my
like
iPhone,
going,
but I
"Man,
don't like Apple.
I go to Taco Bell all that time. It doesn't mean that I like it. It just means it's where I go.
I can like a company's products without liking the company.
Do you like Taco Bell?
I love Taco Bell.
Do you like Goodwill?
That's a complicated question.
If I said, "Hey Luke, you want to go to Goodwill?"
I would go to Goodwill.
You would go to Goodwill.
I like buying things at Goodwill and getting things from Goodwill. But I can like a company's products without liking the
And
company.
this is
I've said it
why
3 times
denial
now.
is not just a
saying it
river
3
in
times.
Egypt.
I'm
There's
not saying it's not
also-
a smart business model. I'm just saying it's like
It's a great business.
their whole thing is getting stuff for free and then selling it to other people. Which is a good idea for them, but like
I mean,
technically, realistically, we're the ones getting ripped off every
We've
time we go
done
to
that.
Goodwill. Okay, yeah.
probably.
But it's not our whole business.
It's true. We don't have one.
We don't have one. You're right. This is our business. This is it.
Somebody is. It is. It's James.
Oh, is James texting you?
It is.
That's great. He's inside.
He is. I can tell him later.
James, if you're listening to this podcast, don't touch our thermostat.
Yeah.
Don't change the temperature.
Fragile. Young man.
Yeah. We actually
snapper.
we managed to get through the whole episode last week without saying his name, but
I
then
threw it out
telling
the
him not to touch our thermostat. I don't know how we managed to do that. We used some of our friends' full legal names in that episode and didn't say James. James, don't touch our thermostat.
Yeah.
So,
I did give him permission to do it the other night.
I mean, that's okay.
Because it was actually cold in
Dumb.
the house, and
Every time I'm cold in the house, I just refuse to acknowledge it because I don't want them to have an excuse to change the thermostat. I would rather just put longer pants on or cover up with a blanket. Because that's the thing. I want my house to be cold enough to cover up with a blanket whenever I want.
his laundry was drying, so he didn't have any warmer clothes to put on. So I told him he could bump it
Sucks.
up. I felt bad. You were already
Imagine.
asleep. It was like 1 in the
Imagine.
morning.
Imagine. I never feel bad.
next.
That's not true.
Next.
I never had those.
I didn't either, but I had a friend who had some, and I went over to his house to play with him, and I was like, "This is how I'm gonna build it," and he got mad at me for not wanting to do what the instructions said and use my imagination.
Imaginext.
His mom yelled at him and told him I was right.
That's right.
And I felt validated.
Go you. I'm so happy for you. Living your best childhood life, I guess.
Yeah, I was probably 6.
I was a Lego kid.
It's fantastic.
I think I got my first Lego set when I was like 7 and never looked back.
think
I would like for a long time, especially like late elementary school, I would like get my dad's iPad.
This is what we're talking about now. Is
And
Legos.
yeah, I would like get my dad's iPad, and if you go on the Lego website, to this day there is like you can look up the instructions for any Lego set that has ever existed.
Oh, that's cool.
And I would pull those up and use whatever bricks I had, which was a ton.
Mm-hmm.
They're still at my parents' house. But I would just start building the sets with my own bricks, and if I didn't have the right things, I would figure out a way around it and then keep building. And so I was like building these rainbow Naboo starfighters from Star Wars with room for R2-D2 in the back because I wanted to build those ships. And instead of designing them myself, I'm just like, I'm going to look at the instructions.
Nice. What was your first Lego set? Do you remember?
My first Lego set, I believe, it was actually a pretty big one. It was the Twilight. It's Anakin and Ahsoka's like B-Wing starship from the first couple seasons of Clone Wars. The super janky one that Obi-Wan complains about all the time. I had that one.
I always forget that you're young. Because my first Lego set was long before Ahsoka existed. But it was also a Lego Star Wars set.
Which one was it?
It was the... not an ATST. What is the Clone Troopers little scout walker?
I think it's the ATRT.
ATRT?
I think.
It was one of those.
Okay.
And it was for the Revenge of the Sith.
Oh.
And it was like,
2005.
I don't know, maybe at the time I think it was like $15. Nowadays it would probably be about 30.
$15 kits are like super small for Lego kits now.
Yeah, now it's absurd.
The battle packs used to be sick for $15. Now they're still usually $15, $20 for the Star Wars battle packs, but they're like you're getting mostly some figures and maybe a small structure.
Right.
Like I remember getting some when I was a kid that were the Clone Trooper battle packs that had like one of those Scout Walkers and a Bark Speeder and then a couple of them. It was sick. It was like $15-$20. I would buy it with my birthday money as a child.
Yeah. Like I remember some of the other sets I got was the Anakin's Jedi Starfighter.
The yellow one?
The yellow one.
I had the green one from Revenge of the Sith.
It was from Revenge of the Sith, but it was back when they didn't have any special hair. So he literally just had like the straight like girl hair.
Yeah, the one from the Complete Saga video game.
Yes.
That's great.
Like, that was the Anakin set that I had, and
Wow.
R2-D2. There was no place for an actual R2 figure. It was just his head.
You took the head off and put it on the ship?
No, it comes with just
It
his
didn't
head.
come with the body even?
No.
Oh my gosh. I know.
There's just R2-D2's head.
That's funny.
I bought an R2-D2 model from a friend. I traded him some Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
For an R2-D2.
Oh man.
So that I could actually have a droid on there.
You want to talk about Lego trading, man? I knew how to get the stuff that I wanted when it come to Lego minifigure trading.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled, right? I came to all of these. I would go to like co-op or whatever, and I would have like so many Lego figures. I had like this nice little case to organize some Lego figures. That wasn't enough. I was carrying 2 like Folgers coffee containers full of Lego minifigures. So no matter where I went, I had all of them. And if someone else that also did this, because this was like a cultural thing at the time, would bring theirs in, and we would just start trading. They'd have something I want, and be like, I'll give you this thing for it. They'd be like, no. I'd be like, okay, but what about this thing and this thing?
Nice.
And then I'd get the stuff. I'd get great stuff out of it. It was awesome. I got like an Aragorn figure from the Black Gate where he had the King's armor on.
That's cool.
That's how I got a Yoda and a old Chewbacca and a whole bunch of stuff.
I think the only Lego sets I had that weren't Star Wars, I didn't have until I was like... Because I was probably like, I don't know, 7 or something when I got my first Lego set, 6 or 7. But I probably wasn't like... I was like 12 or 14 when I got a Lego set that wasn't Lego Star Wars. It was just because I got it for Christmas.
Yeah, I got mostly Star Wars as a kid too. I can't remember if it was before or after I got the big ship that I had just one of the buckets of miscellaneous Legos that you could build with. I don't remember.
I made lots of different things with my Lego Star Wars because I would get them and play with them for like maybe a month, and then I would tear everything apart.
I was not that guy.
Always what I would do is, for the most part, was make Star Wars ships. I made a Star Destroyer that took me like a week to get exactly the way I want. Now, I built it, and I'm sure it was probably only about this big.
Yeah.
Like from here to here. I thought it was massive. Now, I did the very best I could to have it be mostly just gray. Because a lot of the Star Wars pieces from that time were just gray ships with like red accents or something.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of just gray or silver parts. But I'd build something like that and be like, this is fantastic. And then I'd be like, all right, now I'm tired of Star Wars. I'm gonna make Uncle Ben's RV from Ben 10.
Oh my gosh!
What was his grandpa called? It's not Uncle Ben. That's Spider-Man.
Wasn't it Grandpa? Wasn't he the
just Grandpa?
Hold on.
Do you have a name?
Grandpa Ben? Hold on.
His RV. His name wasn't Ben, was he?
Grandpa Max.
Grandpa Max.
Grandpa Max.
I would make Grandpa Max's RV.
Yeah.
Like I would make one so that you could just like grab the side. It would slide out one of those like guns.
Yeah.
That actually launched like the
ones that you could shoot the studs out.
No, it was before the studs. It was it was a big rubber bit, and it was actually like spring loaded.
Oh yeah,
it would shoot them pretty far.
Yeah, I had some of those.
Where they actually had to put like eye safety warnings on.
Was it like a little missile?
Yeah, it was like a little missile.
Yeah, I had one of those.
I would build those into little models of cars, like it was hidden, and then you just like, open the trunk or something. But I only had 2 sets of wheels.
Oh.
So the only wheels I had were the ones that ran on the tracks that were like 2x4.
Yeah.
And then they just had the little wheels off to the side.
Right.
So I just had to make like special chassis to make everything work with that exact kind of wheel. I could not have proportionate wheels on anything unless it was small. But I would just try to make it work.
Yeah. I had so they had, because they had for a long time, I don't know if they still make them at all anymore, but they had like car chassis.
Mm-hmm.
That they had that was just like the base plate that was designed for building cars. And so I had like 2 or 3 of those that I'd use because I had like some cop cars and a RV and some other stuff. So I'd use those to build whatever cars I'm going to base off of that. Because some of my sets did get torn apart. Like I remember I had a the first set I got, the Twilight ship.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you whatever happened to it.
Oh,
all of the pieces are
That's cool.
We said this.
That was the I didn't register that because that's the like the junk ship, right?
Yeah, the one that Obi-Wan's always complaining about.
Yeah, I liked that ship. When they got rid of it in Clone Wars, I was sad.
Yeah, it was a big ship too.
Mm-hmm.
But I had that. But anyway, all that got destroyed so fast. I mean, I was 7 when I got it.
Yeah.
But like all my Lego City stuff got destroyed. But I eventually started getting a lot of Marvel Legos from like the MCU movies and stuff. So I had like multiple Iron Man suits. I think I traded for a War Machine at one point. So I would build like I had the big square green base plates, and I'd use those to build like a Hall of Armor and stuff.
Nice.
For that kind of stuff. So I still have. I mean, I've got a Hulkbuster from Age of Ultron. I have it here. I think it's one of the few Lego things I have here.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah. So I have a lot, and then I had some Lord of the Rings. I have. Man, that's one I want to bring back from my parents' house and fix. Is I have Bag End. I have Bilbo's house with a bunch of the dwarves. That's cool. I got to the point where I had most of the dwarves from The Hobbit, not all of them, because I got a few sets, and then I think I traded for a couple too. I had like 3 Gandalfs. I have 2 or 3 Gandalf the Greys, a Gandalf the White, and a Sauron the White. But I didn't have a ton of Lord of the Rings and Hobbit Legos, but I had some.
I didn't even know that they had Hobbit and Lord of the Rings Legos until my brother bought the Lego Lord of the Rings game.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I never really played much of that with him. I played like a couple levels with him.
Oh, man.
But then I think about the same time, we got the Lego Jurassic Park game.
Oh, the Jurassic World one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked that more.
So, Lego Lord of the Rings is probably my second favorite Lego game out of all of them. And I've played most Lego games.
We should get it.
I have it.
You have it?
I have it on Steam, yeah. It runs like
but it wouldn't run on like the Xbox.
No, I don't have it on Xbox, but I can put 2 controllers on my computer.
Oh, that would be fun. We
Yeah,
should do that.
I've got a big TV in my room, as you know. So,
Yes, you have one screen in your room.
yes,
One
only
big
one screen. But no, yeah. So growing up, I played Lego Lord of the Rings on the Wii, and now I run it on like a pretty mediocre PC. But the game was made in 2012, so it's like god tier graphics, and it's great. Like I'm running at 4K, 165 frames per second for a 2012 Lego game. It's so ridiculous, but it's such a fun game. But like the open world in that game is so much fun because like with Lego Marvel, which is my favorite, like you have all of New York. There's all these bonus things to do. It's great. It's so much fun. There's so many little cameos in there from the Marvel universe.
Marvel one.
Yeah, my favorite, definitely my favorite. I spent more time on that game than probably any other game I've ever played because I had it on the Xbox 360. I played a whole lot, and I've replayed part of it on Switch now. But Lego
have
Lord
it
of the
on
Rings,
Switch?
huh?
You have it on Switch?
Lego Marvel, I do.
Do you have all the characters?
No, I haven't played a whole lot.
We need to play it.
I'm still partway through the campaign on it on there.
We need to play it.
We should.
It's fun.
But Lego Lord of the Rings,
This is going to turn into
you
us
can-
playing Lego games.
it is. But Lego Lord of the Rings, you have all of the like major places. You can go to Minas Tirith, you can go to Hobbiton, you can go to Rohan. So you play the levels through all of there, but you've also like it's similar to the newer
It's
Lego
like
games.
open world.
Yeah, it's this
Whoa.
massive Lord of the Rings open world that's really cool. And to get to
That
the
is
next
cool.
levels, you just run. You like going through the open world, going to the next place. So it does the thing
So
where
you have to actually like go on the journey.
yeah. So you like follow the blue studs
That's
like you
cool.
do in like some of the
Yeah.
like the Marvel game too. You follow those and it takes you to the next level, so you can ride horses and stuff around. There's also like these equipment mechanics that they hadn't done before then. So you have like you can collect mithril bricks and use those to like build more things.
Yeah.
And so I mean there were like shovels and stuff that you could just assign to different people. It was really cool.
Ooh,
So
shovels.
yeah.
I like shovels.
I know you do. But
Shovels are great.
yeah, so it was like it's one of the most fun Lego games I've ever played. I think it was the second Lego game to have actual dialogue in it because they just took the dialogue directly from the movies and put it into the game. They did like I think Lego Batman 2 was the first one that they did dialogue in. Because I played that one too. I was so excited when that game came out too. Lego Batman 2 is probably the best Lego Batman game. The first one, like, people love it. The third one, I played most of it. It was fine. But Lego Batman 2 was a great time. That's also like one of the first ones they did an open world in. Drive the Batmobile all over Gotham. Fly around as Superman, run around as Flash. It was so much fun. But yeah, so I think Lego Lord of the Rings was the second one they did dialogue in. And I had them both on the Wii. But anyway, I played most Lego games and I still buy them sometimes and play them. I have Lego The Hobbit on Xbox too.
I didn't even know they made Lego Hobbit.
It was fine.
It was just fine.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of fun. But it's not...
But it had the barrel scene, didn't it?
I don't think I ever played it that far. I got it for $5. That's the thing. Most of the Lego games
It was bad.
that aren't brand new, actually, even some of the brand new ones, they go on sale for $5 all the time.
Oh, really?
That's what I paid for Lego Pirates of the Caribbean on Xbox. That's what I paid for Lego Lord of the Rings on Steam. I think I might have paid $10 for Lego Marvel because it's so popular it never goes on sale for cheaper than $20. So I think
You
I
saw it at 10. You're like,
yeah.
yep.
I was waiting for it because I knew very rarely they'll put it on sale for 10 around like Black Friday or whatever. I think that's when I got it. It was on sale on the eShop on Switch for $10. So I picked it up then because I want access to that game for sure.
Yeah.
Lego Marvel. So much fun.
It is fun. My brothers and I, basically what we would do in that game is because our brother-in-law owned it.
Right.
And we'd go over there, and he had most of the characters unlocked, and so we just didn't play the campaign.
You just ran around New York.
We ran around New York in a specific fashion. We each would choose a character, and we'd fight to the death.
Oh
And when you died, you had to pick a new character.
what the heck?
And we would do that until we ran out of characters, and just see who was the ultimate winner of Marvel. That was how we played the game.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the OG.
You could run away as much as you wanted, and the other person would just have to try and catch you.
Wow.
It was fun.
Bro, you turned into Spider-Man. Spider-Man was probably the most fun character to play in that game for me because you
Spider-Man,
could just
Carnage.
swing everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that had the swinging abilities were always so much fun. I had like this white suit version of Spider-Man in that game.
Mm.
That one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four version.
Yeah. Yep, that's the one it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
You can just like hold down one of the buttons and he changes outfits.
Yeah.
And changes into Peter Parker too. So you can
Yeah,
run
that
out
one
the
was
camera.
fun.
But typically the people that would win is anybody that had like a laser beam sort of thing.
Yeah, you get one of the Iron Man suits.
Ghost Rider, he would do really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you couldn't pick a big character unless like that was like a separate tier thing because
there was organization to this process.
well, because you can't hurt them with most of the normal people.
Right.
Like if you have the Hulk,
Unless you have a
one
laser.
up
I mean,
and
if
try
you're
to
an Iron
attack
Man
him,
suit, but
right, but if the character you're on is Phil Coulson, and the other and then you kill someone and their next character is the Hulk, you can't. You literally
Phil
cannot hurt
Coulson's
him
not doing
at
much
all.
to Hulk.
So what we would do is we wound up just making rules. Be like, all right, we can't do the big characters, so we run out of the little ones,
Fair.
and then we'll do a separate thing.
So where did Venom fall?
Venom,
because Venom was
we did
both. Okay, I was gonna say because he was
if
both.
You took Venom, you had to fight him as like the small one and the big one.
Okay, but you couldn't like change. Like you couldn't change halfway through.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We like didn't start out with those rules. We eventually made them because otherwise you would just get to like Venom, be like, "Ha ha, I'm invincible now."
Yeah.
Until
Well, because
you would kill
Venom's so cool because he had all the Spider-Man abilities, and then he could also just be a big character like Hulk.
Yeah.
Like it was great. Like I think him and Carnage I think were the only two that were like that too.
Carnage couldn't.
Carnage couldn't?
No.
Huh.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it makes sense because Carnage is never bigger than Venom.
Right.
Like
he's
ever.
just
He's
infinitely
just-
more powerful
yeah.
than him.
He's like, I don't need to be that big. I'll just kill you.
He's like, I will just take over
unless
everything.
he's played by
Woody Harrelson. Yeah. Yeah. Carnage was way too underpowered in that movie. But
do you hear us, Sony? Bring Carnage back.
Marvel, you guys are the ones dealing with that stuff now. Fix it.
Oh, does Marvel have it back?
Well, they don't have it back, but they've been working with Sony ever since they brought Tom Holland on as Spider-Man because they wanted to use that character in MCU. So
Right.
that's why, like, in the credits of No Way Home, spoilers, but that's
Yeah.
on you for 3 years ago.
Oh,
That's why in the
old
end
now?
credits, it was Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
And he had, or I think it was 2 years ago, but Tom Hardy and Venom were in the end credits of that movie.
I know.
So
it was funny.
yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming that that's being worked in now because they put it in there. They don't
Yeah.
put things in end credit scenes
Well,
unless
it's
they're putting
at
it
the
in
end
movies.
credits of Carnage. Let There Be Carnage. That's where they get transported to the other world.
Yep.
They're like, there's
Yep.
another Spider-Man, and then it cuts back to him. At the end.
Yeah. And then I think it was the No Way Home end
Yeah,
credits
they
that
send
they had
him
him in a
back.
bar.
But a single drop of symbiote
Yep.
stays.
Yep. Which I'm super excited for that.
Yeah.
But I also like the thing about Carnage. Like we said, he was underpowered in the Let There Be Carnage movie. I didn't hate that movie, but I was annoyed with how underpowered Carnage was because I've seen like I remember growing up, I loved the Ultimate Spider-Man
Wait a minute,
series on
you didn't
Disney
hate
XD.
that movie
No, I
after Carnage was a tornado?
No, I didn't. We're not talking about this right now. Anyway, I remember watching the Ultimate Spider-Man series on Disney XD. It was one of my favorite series growing up. And at one point, Carnage legitimately just took... Stop doing that.
Okay.
I can hear it in the microphone.
I'm sorry.
You're infuriating.
I know.
Anyway, Carnage like took over literally everything. The Avengers were Carnage. All of Spider-Man's teammates were Carnage. All he had left was Spider-Man and Harry Osborn because Harry Osborn was anti-Venom in this canon.
Oh.
And so the only help he had was Harry Osborn as anti-Venom.
Mm-hmm.
But anti-Venom's anti-Venom,
Yeah.
which is the whole point. So that's how they were able to defeat Carnage. I think they got to I don't even remember how they finished it. I watched this like 10 years ago now at least. But
And what was this on?
it was I think it was in Ultimate Spider-Man. It was either Ultimate Spider-Man or one of the Avengers series.
The one with Drake Bell?
It might have been him. I didn't find out that was him until very recently though. But I think he did voice Spider-Man in that series. But I loved that Spider-Man series. That one, and then Avengers Assemble was not good. But Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes though.
The show?
Yeah, did you
I
ever
watched that. Yeah.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes
I watched
was
it with
so
my brothers.
good.
I saw at least 2 seasons of it.
I think that's all they made.
Is it?
I think there might have been a third one, but I'm pretty sure they only ever did 2 seasons.
I liked that show.
I
that
loved
was
the scroll.
that was
the
the
scroll
thing
arc.
that made me like Black Panther.
Me too. Yeah. And then I remember they introduced the Guardians of the Galaxy in that too. They didn't use it hardly ever again, but there were like 2 episodes
I
of the
never
Guardians
saw
of the Galaxy
Guardians
in it.
in it.
Yeah, they were in it for like
So
one
I didn't get
episode,
that
but this is before they ever made the movie. So this is like classic comic book version of the Guardians with the blue suits that they have as of the 3rd movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the blue suits, classic Star-Lord look rather than the new helmet.
Yeah.
But
I love the new look.
I do too.
I think it
The
looks
new
better.
Guardians are part of the best are one of the best parts of the MCU.
Yeah.
But
Should watch those again.
we should. I love all those movies.
We have a lot to do now. We gotta play Lego games.
Play Lego games. You know,
Watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
we'll use 2 TVs. We'll play Lego Marvel on one and watch Guardians of the Galaxy movies on the other one at the same time. I only have one screen in my room, so we can't. Couldn't possibly do it in there.
Just one, not 4.
The bit
Or is it
is
5 now.
That's 4. The bit is that I have. So my PC setup is 3 monitors. It used to be 4, but it's 3, and I actually do use all of them at once. Pretty consistently, especially when I'm doing like music stuff or recording or gaming, because I'll have Discord open on one, my game open on the other, and then I'll have Steam open on the right side.
Just like a different tab open on every screen.
Yeah, because I'll have Steam open on my right monitor, I'll have Discord on my left monitor, which is a vertical monitor because I like to use that for certain things, and then my main monitor in the middle playing my game. But they're all like, only one of them is like a decent monitor. The other 2 are like ones I've gotten for free over the years. But then I've got a big TV mounted on my wall. I used to have a small TV there, and then I just mounted the big one because I'm like, it's sitting here. Why not? So it's up there, and I can watch TV in my room. I do sometimes because other people are using the living room TV. That's how I account for roommates. It's great. I just have my own stuff. It's wonderful. Get on my level.
Because I don't have any monitors.
No monitors.
I don't have a computer that's fully functional.
That's true.
It's got issues.
I have 2.
Somebody
but
kind
not a
of
laptop.
like put a chair on top of it.
Could this person also be someone who shouldn't touch our thermostat?
Yeah. Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
Don't touch our thermostat and don't break our laptops.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember this, but he did the same thing to his own laptop.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Shortly after, he was letting me use mine.
Yep.
I mean, use his because he broke mine, and then he broke it.
And this is why laptops don't belong flat on the floor ever. I found mine that way today, and I was annoyed about it, and so I stood it up and moved it. And it's a good thing my laptop's not broken, because if one of y'all broke my laptop, I would have killed somebody.
By one of all y'all, you mean James?
Not just James.
Just generally, that's how things break.
Things get stepped on. And if my laptop got stepped on, I would have been really mad, because I've had this thing. I mean, I've had this thing for a good while, but I've upgraded it enough that I can actually still consistently use it for stuff like this podcast. But
the real question is, can you run Doom on it?
You can run Doom on anything. This thing, I can run Halo 4 on this laptop, but that's about as high as I go.
Ooh.
And Halo 4 is like pushing it a little.
But can you run Gang Beasts?
Yeah, I've played it on here. Gang Beasts is not. I mean,
Should
it's
play Gang
terribly
Beasts.
optimized, but it's not that hard to run.
I don't know what that means. Like when someone says, "Yeah, it's optimized for this," to me that sounds like a good thing. So tell me why it's a bad thing.
No. Good. There's bad. Like terribly optimized means it's not well optimized.
Oh.
To run on good hardware or any kind of hardware.
I see.
So if it's well optimized, it's working as well as it can on the hardware. If it's poorly optimized, it's going to have problems and just have issues and not run well. So, but that can be fixed through updates and stuff. So a lot of the times when a game comes out that's poorly optimized, like Helldivers was for a good while, they can fix that over time and do a software update, and suddenly it's not as badly optimized.
Suddenly, pineapples.
Like Fortnite for a good long while didn't run well on low end hardware, but they've kind of fixed it a little bit. It looks nicer than it ever did before, but you can also just scale it down a lot.
Right.
So optimization just makes things run better. It's just how they make it run well.
I see.
Yeah, so you want optimization. So bad optimization is what's bad. Hence why it's called bad optimization.
You know what's optimized
Bad Optimus
really
Prime.
well? I've learned. What's it called? Oh, the Bass 6
Oh my gosh.
It's optimized for people that want to do cool stuff
Oh my gosh.
instead of blah.
I'm going to talk to you
Blah,
about
blah, back.
I'm going to talk to you about this. So,
What are we talking about?
I that was a noise. Anyway,
That wasn't
I
You're correct.
have found that I really like the sound of the what is it?
The Bass VI.
No, it's a D'Angelico.
Oh.
And I can't remember what it was. It's a double cut D'Angelico that oh, it's the Brighton.
I like
the Brighton.
Angelicos.
The
Brighton?
the D'Angelico Brighton
I
that
don't know
has
what that
so
looks like.
it's got a I really like the look of it. You can look it up real quick. It's similar to like a double cut Les Paul kind of shape,
Yeah.
but I think it looks a little nicer than a double cut Les Paul. And it's got humbuckers in it, but it's got one of the most distinct sounding coil splits
Oh, I know this guitar.
ever that I've like ever heard.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
as it like you do the coil split and it rather than just sounding like a thinner version of the humbucker, it sounds like you have put different pickups in this guitar.
Hmm.
It's so distinctly different and it's sick. You want
like it in
versatility
green?
on that thing? Yeah, I like the green too. I saw a black one with a with a tortoise shell
I
picker
think
on it, and
the
I liked.
important thing is that it does in fact come in a burst finish, which is Luke's favorite
Gosh, it just looks so bad.
because he has good taste.
It just looks so bad.
He's a silly
I don't
boy.
understand the sunburst
He's
finishes.
like wood grain finish. I don't want to see
No, no, no.
that. I only
love-
want solid colors.
I love natural wood grain finish. That's why I don't like sunburst.
But you can see the wood grain finish in the middle.
Why would I want to see it in the middle when I can see it on all of it with just a natural single color wood finish?
Variety.
I don't want variety. I want it to look nice.
You wouldn't see it on all of it with a single color finish.
Yeah, like a natural wood finish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking
completely natural wood
you said
finish.
solid
I
color
really is one of
finish,
my
I'm
favorite
thinking,
things on
like
a
just
guitar.
blue.
No, not just blue. I do like sparkly solid colors though on a lot of guitars, but it depends on the guitar that it is.
Like if it's a bad
But-
guitar, that's fine. It's already a bad guitar. But like if it's a good guitar and you put sparkles on it, that's like
What?
putting sparkles on vampires.
What
It's
sparkles?
stupid.
What do you mean by like just
You
a
said
sparkle
sparkles.
finish?
Yeah.
Like a gold sparkle finish? Is that a problem for you? Why?
For the same
You were
reason-
playing a bright green Meteora at Sweetwater last week. What are you?
That was the only color they had. I told you I wouldn't buy that color.
I would buy that color.
But
I
like
don't even like the Meteora, but I would
the-
put that color on it. Certain guitars.
you
I
are the
wouldn't put
kind
that
of
on a
person who
Strat.
put sparkles on vampires, aren't you?
Like a gold top. Like my guitar is
He
technically
didn't
called a
say.
gold
Let the
sparkle.
record show that he didn't say no, and that inherently means he is a Twilight fan and has terrible taste, and therefore
gosh,
he
I hate
doesn't have a
Twilight
valid
so
opinion
much.
about
I
anything.
hate Twilight
right?
so much.
See, he
But-
admitted it.
No, like my guitar is technically a gold sparkle top. I love it. And like they have the blue sparkle. The blue sparkle's pretty on the Gretsch.
Well, Gretsch
Sparkly
makes most
guitars.
things look nice.
Sparkly
They're like the only person that
guitars
could
are
probably get away with
great.
it. Like, you ever seen a sparkly Fender?
Yeah.
I've seen them, and they're the Fenders that make me go, man. Sometimes guitars can just be tinder. And
Yeah,
firewood.
I don't like sparkle finishes on like a Strat in general. Except maybe a red. Mayed.
If
But
you're gonna
like
have red, you should just have
but like
candy
that
apple red.
the green sparkle that was on that
Lacquer
Meteora,
finish.
I would not put on a Strat for sure.
Yeah,
on a
no.
telly, if you have a sparkly telly, there's something wrong.
You know what I want?
What?
I want a 3-color sunburst Meteora.
I hate you so much.
I know.
I
But that would look so nice.
I don't hate the Meteora nearly as much as I hate like an Explorer. I think it looks a little wonky, but I really don't hate it that much.
That's good.
But
That's progress.
you put sunburst on anything, it just looks worse.
No, it looks better on most
No,
things.
it just doesn't. Like the sunburst Jazzmaster doesn't look as good as like a blue Jazzmaster.
Yeah, it looks better.
No, it just doesn't. Oh gosh. Well, we've reached about an hour here. I think that's probably a good length for our podcast episodes to go.
Probably.
So, a lot about guitars in this episode.
Yeah. How
But-
are we gonna sign off? We haven't actually talked about that.
Yeah, we haven't.
Because last time it was just kind of like, yeah, we're done, and we left.
Yeah.
So I think we should. Okay, we're gonna try this now. All right, turn towards me a bit. All right, we're gonna do rock paper scissors.
Okay.
All right, and whenever one of us actually wins, then we'll look at the camera and we'll say something like whoever wins
Does the outro for the podcast?
does the outro. Yep.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Best 2 out of 3 or just one?
I mean, I think we probably do 2 out of 3.
Two out of three. All
2
right.
out of 3. The winner does the outro.
Winner does the outro.
Okay, great.
All
Ready?
right. One,
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. That's 2 scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, I won that one. Paper over rock.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ooh. You
Broke
beat
your
me.
stupid scissors.
Rock over
Right.
scissors.
Rock,
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ah.
My paper.
Scissors beats paper. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2 of the Traffic Barrel podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let us know down below what thoughts you have. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And hear us next time. I think Saturdays are going to be the days for us. So probably in the evening because we usually get to recording early afternoon. A little late today. It's like 5 p.m. when we're finishing this up, but that's okay.
We had technical difficulties.
We did. Quite a few of them. But anyway, yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Okay.
Wait, what are we talking about today? We haven't decided yet. We probably have a topic before we. We were focused on
You'll
getting
find
it
out.
up. Oh, okay. I'll find out. So I'm gonna say something along the lines of, "Hey, what are we talking about today, Luke?"
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
Then it's your problem.
Or I'll just get there. This is... Yeah, okay.